Welcome, everybody, to New Haven, Connecticut, on the campus of Alberta's Magnus College. It's time for National Prep Showcase basketball here on Yurview. We welcome you folks on a Sunday morning for some basketball between Vermont Academy and IMG Academy. Thanks for taking some time out of your morning to spend it with us as we bring you the action today. The 6-0 IMG Academy versus the 2-2 Vermont Academy. Stone Freeman sitting alongside of ESPN national recruiting expert Adam Finkelstein. Adam, we're ready to go. An exciting day 3 of a 3-game tournament showcase and an exciting time for basketball.
Yeah, it certainly is. You know, we've got a nice crowd of college coaches and NBA scouts alike here. Had 24 different NBA scouts, teams, I should say, credentialed for this event. Many more scouts, some of those teams bringing multiple guys, and college coaches. We've had 100 different people in the door so far over the course of these 3 days. So just a great opportunity to see some top players and some of the top postgraduate programs from across the country.
Yeah, some of the bigger names in college basketball, of course, Buzz Williams, Ed Cooley here to see this game today between IMG and Vermont Academy. But talk to us a little bit more about Kenyon Martin Jr. He's going to be one of the best players we see on the court today for IMG.
Well, Kenyon Martin Jr. is the son and namesake of that Kenyon Martin, the former #1 pick in the draft, who's actually here watching his son. And he is just as athletic as you would expect if you ever saw his dad play. He's a little bit different, a little bit more of a combo forward. He's working on developing his skill set. He hit a couple of threes the other night, but he's almost ambidextrous. So you see the athleticism, the power, the aggressiveness that he plays with. That's the first thing you notice. But he's got a phenomenal left hand. He's developing his skill set away from the basket.
So we're going to play 2 20-minute halves today, but Vermont Academy, they have some talent, too, that'll play the next 40 minutes. C.J. Jones, a Boston University commit, Los Angeles native, as a senior this year, shooting guard. What can you tell us about him?
Well, he's a steal for BU in the Patriot League. He had recruitment all the way up to the Atlantic 10. He came over early from California, played in the June Scholastic events with his future Vermont Academy teammates, picked up a ton of recruitment, and ended up with a lot of different options before he decided to commit to Joe Jones and the Terriers. And as I said, he's just a steal at that level. He's an elite-level shot maker, good perimeter size, has a terrific feel for the game to match as well.
So we have 2 of the better teams here in prep basketball with a couple different collegiate commits. Alan Breed, who we'll talk about today, number 3 for IMG, a Providence College commit, hence why Ed Cooley is in the crowd this morning, and also a VCU commit in McKeel Brown-Jones, and then the big guy UNLV commit in Nick Blake. Kenyon Martin Jr. was committed to Vanderbilt. He decided to go professionally, but now has opted to play a prep year. But he is one of the many exciting factors that we'll see tonight. He wears number 4 for IMG that are in the white uniforms today. They're out on the court as now Vermont Academy jogs on out there as we get ready for tip-off. Vermont Academy versus IMG Academy, again on day 3 of the National Prep Showcase here in New Haven, Connecticut. And Adam, it's been an exciting weekend, I'm sure, for you. A busy weekend, though, but like you mentioned, a lot of NBA and college people inside the building today to see some of the top-level talent.
You know, when you have 21 games over the course of 3 days, as we have here, we're got 17 down, 4 to go at this point. It's busy, but it's exciting because you see a lot of kids who play well and a lot of kids who help themselves make the most of this exposure opportunity.
Chisholm Akpara grabbed the rebound off of the miss for Brown-Jones on the other end for IMG. Again, 2 20-minute halves, 8-minute halftime in between as Vermont Academy looks to capitalize on their first offensive possession. 3-ball opportunity falls short. That one is from C.J. Jones again. That's well in his range as Martin tries. Finger roll and a nice finish at the lid, and that's the athleticism on full display for Kenyon Martin Jr.
And the dexterity because he finished that shot. Sure. He's a righty. He finished that layup with his left hand. So you see, we told you he's ambidextrous. We told you he can get downhill, and he proved it in that first possession of the game.
IMG with a win their last time out, 101-61 over a link year. Dominating performance. The team from Florida. Inside now, Jones bobbles, corrals, but it's blocked away by McKeel Brown-Jones, and IMG out again.
Now, Brown-Jones is signed with VCU, and you just saw what he does best. He is an elite defensive player. He played on IMG's high school team last year where they won a Geico National Championship. This guy can defend multiple positions. He's one of the few high school, prep school players who understands how to impact winning without needing to score the ball or even get a lot of touches.
A lot of movement for Vermont Academy as they feed it into the post for Asuna Ana as he hands away, and he's got a bucket. We're tied up at 2 apiece.
And Nana's similar. This is an interesting matchup, actually, because like like his counterpart, Mikhail Brown-Jones. He's an elite defender. Nana's got a 6'11 wingspan, terrific long arms that he uses on the defensive end, but right now we're seeing some offense.
As Nick Blake, the UNLV commit, ESPN Top 100 recruit, nails a three-point bucket to put IMG up by a three-point field goal.
Yeah, he's going to be a terrific player there for UNLV. Got that great size and length on the wing. He starts making shots consistently. We know he can drive it as well.
Inside again, this time a miss for the junior, number 15. Anana again as IMG comes the other way. Inside. Out to Martin. He's going to tee up a three, and that one duds off.
And that's the part of his game he's working on. You can see that one bricked a little bit, but it did not look bad coming off his hand.
As the fadeaway no good for Jones. Martin grabs a rebound again. Playing in front of his father today, Kenyon Martin Sr.
Move.
Inside and a make for IMG.
Yeah, impressive body control while maintaining his poise the entire time. Nick Blake showing why he's so good in transition.
Nick Blake yesterday 4 of 5, 3 of 3 from behind the arc, 13 points and 4 rebounds in the win over Linkier.
Yeah, it was just a dominant performance yesterday from IMG. They jumped all over Linkier the very first opening minutes of this game, and they never took their foot off the gas.
This three-point bucket, IMG will come the other way. They're on a 5-0 run right now. The game was tied up early on, just 2 apiece. And a three-point bucket and a bucket inside of IMG up by 5.
First good look at Alan Breed, the Providence commit.
Inside for Martin off of the feed from Breed, and he gets blocked away. Ball underneath, and we'll get our first foul of the contest. Hutchinson is heading to the line, or Hutchins, I should say, as there's Ed Cooley in the house today to see a future Friar.
Assistant coach Brian Blaney sitting next to him. Alan Breed, of course. I think this is his first time ever playing in New England, and his debut was a good one yesterday as he put up 20-plus, super efficient, too. Not only made shots from the perimeter, but impacted the game different ways, scored the ball different areas of the floor, which is what he is known for.
As Hutchins hits the opening of 2, and there's Kenyon Martin Sr. So again, some big names here.
Looks like he could still play, doesn't it?
That's right, yeah. Very athletic. Second make through, and IMG continues to roll here, up by 6. Vermont looking for a bucket. Three-point bid. That one sinks right through.
Bijan Sidhu, he is a guy known for his intangibles, one of the toughest, hardest working guys you will find in the knapsack. And when he starts making threes consistently, it's going to take his game to the next level.
6'4" guard drills the triple, makes it a 4-point game. Vermont Academy up again. Sidhu's got it. Thinking about it again. Hits that one back-to-back from the same location. And Vermont Academy within a point.
Well, you love to see it because that's been the question mark about his game. How well does he shoot it? And he comes back, makes one in rhythm, then made a tough 3 off the dribble in that last sequence.
IMG Academy needs a bucket. The last 2 come at the charity stripe. Martin
out.
Drive. He can't finish. They come the other way. Jones looking for a knockdown. That one rolls off the side of the rim. Lead pass up ahead. And a foul. Actually, travel. Correction. And it's a timeout taken by IMG. We're going to take it with them. It's IMG 9, Vermont Academy 8. We're coming back with more here from the National Prep Showcase. Also, I apologize. As we're back here at Albertus Magnus, as IMG Academy, Vermont Academy continue to exchange buckets here in the opening couple minutes. Stone Freeman and Adam Finkelstein bringing you the action. A three-point bid, no good for C.J. Jones, as he's been cold to start off this contest.
He has, but I tell you what, he got a good look there. Nice action out of the timeout. You call that an ATO, after timeout play, when the coach can draw something up on the clipboard and execute right out of the huddle. They did just that, but Jones couldn't get it to fall. That's a tough shot.
Jones gets his first bucket to drop. A tough one that finds its way through the net.
It's the mark of a good shooter, though, right? You know, the unwavering confidence. He missed his first few.
There's a drive inside, a hop step that's blocked away. Akpara had his hand on it as Jones looking for his second bucket, and that one rolls off.
How about that athleticism that time? You saw Akpara flying in for the offensive glass. He's just a sophomore, his first year at Vermont Academy, but probably the best long-term prospect on this team. You get a look at Chad Myers there for IMG. It's his first year at IMG as well, previously the head coach at Massanutten Military Academy, another proud prep program.
Downhill drive and losing the handle on it. It will stay IMG Academy ball as we get a couple substitutions coming in. Tyler Andrews amongst them and Raph Ayers.
Josh Basco coming in as well, the skilled junior guard.
First substitution we've seen today for Vermont Academy is a three-point bid. No good. Too much on that one for Darius Miles.
Here comes Basco. Great pace right off the bat.
Basco gets fouled inside the paint. And it'll stay on this side of the court. So again, these two teams playing already. Friday for Vermont Academy, a loss to Scotland, 98 to 89. They did shoot 50% from the field, though.
Scotland's one of the best teams in the country this year, so I thought they played really well in that game, to be honest. I mean, they're missing Jake Cook, who is one of the veterans of this team. He already committed to LIU, signed with LIU, so playing without one of their starting big men, coming in, playing one of the leaders in the country. I thought it was a really good showing for Vermont on Friday night.
They can shoot.
Well, they're deep. They're younger than a lot of prep school teams. I mean, they started two sophomores here today. They've got two more juniors who just came off the bench. So they're relative to other top prep school teams, they're younger, but they've got good depth. They're well coached. They're organized on both ends of the floor, except for this inbound, except for taking that ball out. Other than that, they're organized on both ends of the floor. Yeah, I think, and they've been a program on the rise for the better part of the last decade.
The bucket on the other end was for Mikhail Browns-Jones. Inside now for Vermont Academy. There's a kick out and a travel and a turnover for Bosco.
Yeah, 1-2 step on the catch, and then he changed his pivot foot, it looked like.
In a sport like basketball, particularly going up into the collegiate ranks, you need opportunities like this to perform, and these showcase tournaments do just that. A downhill drive and a foul. And Brown-Jones will get a couple free throws.
And this tournament really serves a couple of different purposes. You know, one, it obviously is a showcase setting, not just for the college coaches, but for the NBA scouts alike.
Sure.
But it's also a, you know, it's basically the season started a couple of weeks ago, but this is the first time all the best teams in the country really come together. And these schools are all competing throughout the course of the season for a chance to advance to the National Prep Championship in March. And so there's some of these games that will have some implications, you know, 3-4 months down the road.
Chance to go 2 for 2 for Brown-Jones, and he does just that. Who will play collegiately for Mike Rhodes.
It's going to be a great fit there. He may never be a 20-point-a-game scorer, but he's a guy who's going to be able to come right in, play immediate minutes, defend multiple positions, provide constant energy. And he's also going back a little closer to home because he's from the Philadelphia area.
Right. Seems like a comfortable fit for the Atlantic 10 Conference, too. Some good teams there, but VCU at the top of that conference right now in the AP Top 25. Chance for Jones, who drives, loses the handle. And here comes IMG in transition, led by Blake. Lead pass up ahead and two-hand slam for Kenyon Martin Jr.
He is absolutely explosive, both with and without the ball. He's got a terrific ability to get downhill. That time he filled the lane, took off in stride, making Dad proud.
It's a three-point bid, and that one just rattled away by Bosco. As Martin will bring it up, feeds it inside.
Notice what hand he threw that with.
True. Fed it inside with his left hand. It's a miss for IMG. Vermont Academy brings it up ahead, trailing by 5. Inside, and a fancy finish for Akbara.
He's a sophomore, folks, so he may look like a full-grown man physically, but that was a big-time move and a big-time finish, making the inside-out layup with his right hand.
Three-point bid, nothing but the bottom of the net for Kenyon Martin Jr. And there's a timeout now. We're going to keep it here.
That's the part of his game we said he's been working on, spending a lot of time on that jumper down at IMG Academy. But here's what he does best. Get out in transition, jump off either foot. It doesn't matter. I'm ripping the rim down.
And all the credit to him on the slam, but Nick Blake fed him beautifully through traffic. And Martin Jr. without any hesitation. 6'7", forward. And Vermont Academy right now trailing by 6 points. We've seen good pace in this game, though, so far.
Yeah, and I think, you know, especially this early in the year at the prep school level, sometimes pace and organization can be mutually exclusive. The teams that are trying to play really fast tend to be a little more wild. But I think, to your point, both teams playing fast but playing organized here. They're running with structure. They're filling lanes. They're balancing the floor in transition. You get a look at Alex Pope in the Vermont Academy huddle there. There's Chad Myers. Both guys well known for their prowess on the sideline. Chad Myers.
Adam, you've referenced this kind of schedule for prep basketball. How does that work?
Well, it varies, quite frankly. You know, at this event, you bring in the top post-grad programs in the country, but depending on the country and the specifications of the various leagues that they're in, you're going to have different start dates. So one of the things that's a challenge for teams in New England, like Vermont Academy, is that they're in the NEPSAC. The NEPSAC doesn't allow you to start practice, depending on what class you're in, until November. So Vermont Academy, only about 2 weeks into their season. IMG's been playing a little longer than that. They could start practice whenever they wanted, and could start games whenever they wanted as well. So it varies by – the short answer is it varies by conference, but there's obviously a lot of context to that answer as well.
That was Buzz Williams, the former Virginia Tech head coach, now Texas A&M head coach, sitting front row here in New Haven, Connecticut.
His second day here, he was in that same spot again yesterday, watching Hassan Diarra from Putnam Science Academy, who will go play for him next year.
Bucket on the IMG end was for Martin Jr. again. He's been on a tear. And an 8-point lead for his squad. Floater in the lane off the front of the rim, no good, and Martin with a rebound. A lead pass way up ahead, extra pass inside with a finish for Darius Miles, and a timeout taken by Vermont Academy.
And that's that basketball IQ we talked about. Brown Jones, the tip pass in transition. Great recognition.
We'll take the break. We're coming back with more. The Rams are gearing up for their 2019 season, but there's two Rams in particular that have been talking FCS football all year long. It's Sean Anderson and Joe DeLeon. They have a national podcast talking FCS football. That was beginning of the, when was that?
I was going to say, that doesn't, I'm looking, I was like, is that you?
When was it? That was August. Yeah, our football
Maybe it's a goatee. I don't know.
I think it might be, yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big goatee fan. I just kind of ended up with it.
Yeah, you pull it off.
But we're back as we're conversing about the facial hair situation.
I was going to say, it's so impressive. You're calling the game and doing the commercials at the same time.
Vermont Academy now looking for a bucket, and they need one. That one rolls off as C.J. Jones has only made one bucket. Martin kicks it out. Miles looking for a three. That one long. And a big rebound for Bosco.
The key when you play IMG is to try and wear down their first 5 or 6 guys and get deep into their rotation, because 1 through 6, I think they're as good as anyone in the country.
3-point bid for Blake. He can't finish, and a foul before the putback. And it's going to go the other way towards Vermont Academy. Bounce pass coming in on the other end.
You know, you mentioned it earlier how Martin has said he's still not very interested in going to college, looking to play professionally. But, you know, he said the same last spring and then opted to do the post-grad year. And if he were to explore his college options, I think he'd be one of the best available players in the country.
As the three-point bid goes through for the junior Josh Bosco. 6 of 6 from the free throw line, 2 of 6 yesterday for 11 points, and he's got a big one that brings this game within 5.
Reminds me so much of Jalen Brantley, another former New England product who played at the University of Maryland, just an undersized, skilled guard with good feel for the game.
As a turnover, it'll be an offensive foul against Kenyon Martin Jr. Vermont Academy has to capitalize here, trailing by 5. Bounce pass comes in. And there are 6 guys on the court. That's what they're yelling. I don't think so, though. There's 5 apiece.
Yeah, he just got off a little late.
And Jones gets called for the travel. I was counting them up in my head.
Yeah, I saw Coach Myers get animated there. I wasn't sure what he was talking about. I think he was waving somebody to sit down real quick.
Hutchins brings it up. Kicks it on the far side. The drive, count the bucket, and 1 for Nick Blake. The 6'6" small forward connects.
Well, he's another guy. He's not always the top option for this team because so much of it starts in the open floor with Martin. But you see the versatility here, his ability to go through contact, slash to the rim. And again, he's got really good size on the wing as well.
Looking to make it a perfect three-point play, and that one rolls through. He does just that and puts his squad up 25-17. We saw a great pace early on in this game. Seen a lot of points.
It's a tough shot.
Another one falls through. Roscoe, who has hit a 3. Now inside the paint, he's got one.
Yeah, so he creates space with that left hand inside-out move, and then a tough pull-up. That's a college-ready move right there.
Vermont Academy showing a zone look. Packing inside, and it's going to stay IMG basketball. IMG Academy is synonymous with athletics, it seems, in all facets of it, including basketball, though. And Adam, we were talking off air, but they have a couple different teams that they play for.
For basketball, yeah. I mean, I went down there this fall for the first time, and it is, I mean, you know when you see them on the road that they've got a great setup and great resources, but when you go there, it you know, surpasses, at least it surpassed my expectations of the amount of resources and just the scale of the setup that they have.
Shot clock had gone off, but they had forgot to reset it. It did hit the rim as a three-point bucket is through for Darius Miles.
Miles, another unsigned senior. He's got that huge potential, that long, lanky frame, 6'7" on the wing.
Inside, and looks like we got a jump ball. And that's exactly what the call is.
Again, Brown Jones, just an elite defensive player.
Coming back into the game for Vermont Academy is Sidhu, who's hit a couple threes already today. Zayers comes out.
You can see, though, Vermont Academy able to go deeper into their bench than IMG is so far. So it's one of those things. IMG wants to run. They want to get out in transition, but they can't afford for it to be a total track meet because they don't necessarily have there's a bit of a drop-off there that can.
With a whistle, they need a new shot clock. .8:26 left to go here in the first half of play. And game 1 of 3 we'll have here at the National Prep Showcase on Yurview this afternoon. A couple more coming up after this. Kenyon Martin Jr. back into the contest as he gets fed. Post up and a kick out. 3-point bid rolls right out. Offensive rebound inside and ball loose. It's going to stay IMG basketball.
Baseline out of bounds here for IMG. Get a look at Kenyon Martin Jr. there.
And a turnover. C.J. Jones, right place, right time, picks up the loose ball. Feeds it. Bucket, yes. Nice finish.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice catch, too. I mean, that was a ball that was fired pretty hard above his head, but Owusu comes up, makes a tough catch, and then the dexterity with the left-hand finish.
Kick out. Corner three. No good. Rolled off on a bit from Miles. Jones brings it up ahead. He's thinking three ball, and he sinks his first. And a big one in that to bring it within 4 here in the second half of the first half.
And, you know, he hunts him a little bit. I thought he could have skipped that ball and had Sidhu going downhill on the opposite side of the floor. But when you are capable of catching fire at any point in time, you look for that line.
Martin Jr.'s ball is off on a straightaway three. Vermont Academy with a chance to bring this to one possession with still 7 minutes plus left to go in the first half. Kick out again. Extra pass. Jones feeds it inside now. Baseline with 10 on the shot clock. Puts it up. No good.
Really good defensive possession there for IMG because Vermont was moving both bodies and the ball. IMG was there every step.
Holy moly, right through the paint goes Mikhail Brown-Jones in a two-handed dunk.
How about that?
That'll wake you up. And a steal now. Lead pass way up ahead. Watch out below. Back-to-back slams for IMG. This one from Kenyon Martin Jr.'s second dunk of the afternoon.
Yeah, but that's when they come up with two fouls like that, two huge dunks like that, you've got to slow the pace down, really run your offense. Get a look at this. Is the first one from Mikhail Brown-Jones, and that is a big-time finish. If you're Vermont right now, though, again, you want to run your offense, make sure you get a good look, very secure with the basketball here.
They need a bucket. They had this to a 4-point game. A 6-0 run has brought it to 8. Inside, no finish. Kick out. And the second chance. Shot clock's at 19. And offensive foul. It's going to be a moving screen, looks like, against number 1 for Vermont Academy, Keontae Beals, the 6'3" guard. IMG fresh off of back-to-back slam dunk possessions. Have to face this zone from Vermont Academy.
Yeah, 3-2 zone look here for Vermont. Got to make sure you find bodies on the glass.
IMG's patient. This one nicked away and not quite stolen. Retaining the possession is Breed, who floats it up. He can't finish. Fighting for the rebound as Martin corrals it. He gets blocked, but slams this one home.
Hey now. Good Lord.
Wow.
He is a beast.
Physicality inside for Kenyon Martin Jr. And the largest lead is now 10. Ball inside, the finish can't be done.
Well, that's just Martin and Brown-Jones just physically dominating the interior right now.
Straightaway three, that one too strong and a foul. And I think we're going to keep it here.
There's Dad, Kenyon Martin.
He's holding in his excitement.
I mean, you got to be a little impressed. We're just happy the rim's still on the backboard.
That's right. A great career for his father, former number 1 overall pick. Ball fed inside. Kick out.
Good catch.
And no finish. Poked out. Way up ahead to Sidhu. Drops it. Jones. He can't hit.
But see, that's a bad shot. I know you're an elite shooter, but you got a 2-on-1. You're in the middle of a trying to counteract a big run by the opposition. Take the layup and kind of turn that tide any way you can.
Jones has great size, 6'5". Again, we mentioned it, committed to play collegiately at Boston University. Three-point bid. That one drops through for IMG. This time it's Noah Hutchins.
Another nice pass from Brown Jones. Hutchins is a bit of a homecoming game. He's from upstate New York, went down to Florida for his post-grad year, so a chance for local friends and family to see him.
There's a miss on the other end.
Got to be careful, though, because when you're playing a fast break team, bad shots lead to runouts, and that plays right into IMG Academy's hands.
Yeah, we've seen it a couple times this afternoon already. Final 4 minutes of the first half. A big lead for IMG Academy, up by 13. Floater. That one drops through. Beautifully done by Darius Miles along the baseline.
Soft touch here. This is an IMG Academy team that looks like they are ahead of schedule.
39-24, IMG up on Vermont Academy. We're coming back with more.
Come on in and discover the new Cox Solutions store. Experience a whole new level of in-home comfort. It's all right here at the Cox Solutions store. Discover, learn, and experience more.
You know, and quote-unquote reclassify, but, I mean, that's something we can get into, certainly.
We're back here at Albertus Magnus and IMG Academy 39-24, and we're just talking about it, but you know, this is a post-grad. What exactly is the definition of post-grad?
Yeah, you know, and I think prep in general, a lot of people don't understand the connotation because to me, prep means you have a postgraduate or a fifth-year option.
Gotcha.
So sometimes you see these quote-unquote schools that pop up, really aren't a school. They label themselves a prep program, and it does a disservice to programs like the ones we're seeing that are actual schools,
Sure.
Many of whom have been in existence for decades upon decades. Do things the right way, just have a postgraduate option. So the teams you're watching are teams that have fifth-year players, whether they've graduated from another high school and come to these current schools for a traditional postgrad year, or whether they've spent multiple years here reclassifying athletically and then staying for a postgrad year academically.
So that's some insight.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
All right.
The National Prep Showcase. Ken Stone Freeman and Adam Finkelstein on the call today as a turnover out of the timeout for Vermont Academy will result in another possession for IMG, who has dominated the last few minutes, up 39-24.
Vermont's going man here. I don't think IMG has taken either Martin, nice pass, again with his left hand. That was big time.
Three-point ball drops through for Hutchins. He's got back-to-back threes off a superb pass from Kenyon Martin Jr.
He whipped that ball with his left hand, but I tell you what, it's a great shot from Hutchins.
With another turnover. IMG will take over again.
Martin really just imposing his will on both ends here. He and Brown Jones just set the tone, because this is a team, you got to look at Martin here, it's a team that plays without a conventional big man.
True.
But both of these guys play so much bigger than their listed size. I mean, you've got, I think they're both 6'7". I think they're both listed at 6'8", but they both might be 6'7", and they both play a whole lot bigger than that.
Jump shot good for Darius Miles, nothing but the bottom of the net for the senior. And you mentioned it, he's a senior that is not committed anywhere yet.
And he's a true senior. So he's, you know, you can tell he's not quite as physically mature as some of the other guys on this floor. But it's also why, you know, when we talk about the youth of Vermont Academy, watch out here.
Sidu gets blocked. Big one by Kenyon Martin Jr. And IMG out now looking for points. And Sidu's down on the ground on the far side. And a turnover for IMG. If someone hurt, the referees now become notified as they're going to stop play.
He's holding his ankle. Hopefully it's nothing serious.
He went hard up to the basket on the right side. He's being chased from behind by Martin.
That's not recommended at home. Mid-air collision with Kenyon Martin Jr.
Oof. Time being, IMG up by 20 now. 44-24. We obviously hope that Sidu can get back up and He is sitting up, and he's got some trainers with him. But he is holding on to that ankle, the right ankle to be exact.
So, we were talking about the age of these players,
Sure.
and it also, with that background on how a lot of these players are fifth-year guys, it gives you a little context on why Vermont Academy is so young. I mean, they started a pair of sophomores in Keontae Beals and Chisholm Akpara, two guys with very, very bright futures. And then they've got other guys who are juniors playing significant roles. Nana Owusu is the captain of this team. He's a junior. Josh Basco, another junior, the point guard for this squad. So you look at that, and remember, they were already playing without Jake Cook, who is the not only their big man, but their veteran.
Who's committed to play for Derek Kellogg at LIU. And there's Buzz Williams again. One of a couple coaches we've seen today and over the course of this weekend.
Already today, we've had Maryland head coach Mark Turgeon.
Nate Oates was here too.
Yep, Alabama head coach Nate Oates. Had Wake Forest head coach Danny Manning here last night. Ed Cooley's here now. Tommy Amaker's here right now from Harvard.
This is a big time for their seasons, right? Obviously right in the middle of college basketball, or the beginning of college basketball season.
And lots of times, this is also an exempt weekend, so you've got a lot of teams who are, playing in a 3-day event. Even, 10 minutes down the road, Quinnipiac's hosting an event, exempt event of their own, where they've got 4 teams who are playing Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so to still get the college coach turnout on this weekend just speaks to the level of talent that's in action here.
Then we're at Albertus Magnus, a Division III college basketball program in New Haven, Connecticut.
Division III powerhouse.
That's right.
Mitch Oliver been getting it done here for years. One of the best Division III atmospheres for a game I've ever been
Really?
in. Yeah, and I coached at the Division III level about 15 years ago, and Albertus was like the guaranteed win on your schedule, and now they are an absolute power. I mean, he has really built them from the ground up.
It's funny how that works.
Nice pass.
Inside, blocked away. A big one in there for Darius Miles. Second chance, up and through. Athletic play on the other end for Josh Basco.
How about the body control and touch there from Basco, being able to adjust in midair and still kiss it off the glass softly.
Final 90 seconds of a 20-point first half as that one rolls off. 46-26 IMG Academy from Florida up on Vermont Academy. Inside, floater off the glass and in. Back-to-back buckets for Basco.
And again, he's a junior, folks, so you look at that core. He, Akpara, Owusu, all those guys are coming back next year, and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Downhill finishing, left side, right hand. On the other end is Noah Hutchins. He's got a pair of threes and now a bucket in the paint.
Yeah, you got to be happy for Noah Hutchins again. Coming back, playing in front of friends and family, and he's having a great day so far.
Top of the key for C.J. Jones, the star of this Vermont Academy team. Great shooter that's been slow today in the first half. Post up inside and no finish, but a foul on the interior for Nana Owusu.
And anything they can do to get one of those two guys in foul trouble would really benefit Vermont here.
Substitution coming in. Miles Jones to check in for IMG. So we get a pair of free throws upcoming for Vermont Academy from Saxtons River, Vermont.
The long walk, they call it.
That's right. That one drilled through. First one on the front end good.
It's actually just barely over the Vermont border.
And there's a lot of prep schools up this way too. It's not.
Oh yeah, no, really. That was my point. I should have elaborated. Is that relative to some of the prep schools over the years, Vermont Academy is not as far north as you might think. Right on that Massachusetts line.
Trap defense. IMG Academy will set up their offense now with 20 on the shot clock. Looking for a 50-point first half. 3-point bid. That one through for Darius Miles. It's a 51-point first half. Final 20 seconds. Inside, rolled right through, up and under for Basco.
A terrific layup, body control and layup making ability for Basco again. He walked.
Final possession here for IMG Academy. Final 5 seconds. In the paint, kick out. 3-point bid. That one falls off the side of the rim. And a superb first half for IMG Academy. They're up 51-34 over Vermont Academy here in New Haven, Connecticut. Pretty good first half out.
Terrific action, just a dominating first half from IMG and Kenyon Martin Jr.
Well, we're coming back with halftime in the second half and more here from Albertus Magnus. Don't go anywhere, folks. This is the National Prep Showcase.
Drone Racing League pilot Wild Willie is testing his skills on the scariest course imaginable. His mom's house. Fortunately, he's using panoramic Wi-Fi from Cox, because even a 1-second delay could mean trouble for everyone. Wall-to-wall fast panoramic Wi-Fi from Cox. Wi-Fi at the speed of flight.
The right connection can open a world of curiosity for your child. With Cox, families that have a K-12 student and receive government assistance could qualify for low-cost home internet with Wi-Fi. That means more learning and more achieving. Qualify now. It's time to connect with Cox.
Drone Racing League pilot Wild Willie is testing his skills on the scariest course imaginable. His mom's house. Fortunately, he's using panoramic Wi-Fi from Cox, because even a 1-second delay could mean trouble for everyone. Wall-to-wall fast panoramic Wi-Fi from Cox. Wi-Fi at the speed of flight.
right connection can open a world of curiosity for your child. With Cox, families that have a K-12 student and receive government assistance could qualify for low-cost home internet with Wi-Fi. That means more learning and more achieving. Qualify now. It's time to connect with Cox.
Welcome back, folks, here to Albertus Magnus College in New Haven, Connecticut. It's IMG Academy 51, Vermont Academy 32 at the half of Game 1 of Yurview's coverage on a Sunday of the National Prep Showcase. Stone Freeman and Adam Finkelstein bringing you the call of today's game. As we get ready for the second half, we're taking a look at some of the halftime highlights that we've seen today, and Adam, it's been an impressive half for IMG Academy.
Yeah, I mean, they got going early there. I mean, it was, quite frankly, everything's just gone right for them. You see a tough shot there to start the game by Nick Blake, and Bijan Sita was an early bright spot for Vermont, and unfortunately he went down with that sprained ankle, but you see the back-to-back threes here for a guy who's not known as a shooter, but showing the progression in his game in recent months. But this was really the story, I think, of the first half, is not just Kenyon Martin Jr. and his ability to get downhill, but IMG's ability to get out in the open floor and generate tempo, quite frankly, like no other team we've seen this weekend.
Yeah, if you could see the scoreboard there in the corner of your screen, that's what kept Vermont around early on, was their three-point balls straight away at the top of the key from Sidhu. But other than that, it's been all IMG Academy in the first half of play. We got one more minute here left until we start the second half, but Vermont Academy is going to have to come out and play with pace and try to match at least the pace from IMG.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that they can keep up with them because, you know, with Sidhu going down now, I'm not sure he's over there on the bench and with crutches. So that's two starters and two of their fifth-year guys who are out of the lineup. So this is, I think this is gut check time for them. You see them in that huddle. They're connected. They've got their arms around each other. So I think this is about controlling the tempo, making it a half-court game, and competing to the max for all 20 minutes.
And there's Sidhu. He again had those two first half threes, and in transition went up for a right-handed layup, was blocked away by Kenyon Martin Jr., collided in the air, and he's on crutches and he's got some ice around his ankle. So they'll be without him for the second half. But another 20 minutes up on the clock, 51-32, the lead for IMG Academy, and it's again, the 12 o'clock matchup between two teams here at the National Prep Showcase. We still have Sunrise Christian Academy versus Cushing Academy and the New Hampton School versus Blair Academy this afternoon at 3 o'clock. So we'll have all those games for you right here on Yurview and Yurview.com. But to action we go. Again, Vermont Academy in the black uniforms with the orange lettering and numbering. White trim. Inside. Opportunity and offensive foul. Looked like a push-off there from Nana Owusu. A lot of excitement here at Albertus Magnus. And IMG Academy looking for a bucket off of the foul, and they'll get just that. 2-point bucket good for Darius Miles. Miles was good in the first half rather, and starts off the second half strong. That's got some interest from a lot of the schools down in the DMV area, being a Maryland native. Post play, and no good on the finish. Tip up, no good, and a rebound that's stolen away and put back up by Vermont Academy. Up ahead now, IMG goes. 2-2 buckets go here in the second half, first couple minutes of it. Spin move in the plate. Martin Jr. can't finish. On rebound, misses the dunk.
Great contest there, though. Sticking his nose right in. Blake Whitelaw.
3-point bid. That one just rolls out for C.J. Jones.
Oh, Whitelaw.
Grabbed himself a couple rebounds. Some aggressive play inside for Vermont Academy. And Blake Whitelaw only played 6 minutes yesterday. He's going to have to play some meaningful minutes here in the second half. Inbounds comes way into Whitelaw, grabs it like a wide out. Vermont's got some size out there right now. And an offensive foul again against Nana Usu.
Yeah, those are tough ones. Just given time and score, understand the frustration there.
IMG now again on the offensive attack in the hands of Noah Hutchins, who had a couple threes, showed he could score on multiple levels in the first half. With 2 3 balls. Inside at a fadeaway. Second bucket no good off the hand of Miles. Hop step from Bosco kicks it out.
Yeah, forced a bad spot there.
Just an ugly pass, trying to get it through traffic. Blake with a drive, and he finishes elegantly.
Just finds ways to score, doesn't he? You know, he attacks the rim. He's able to convert at unorthodox angles.
IMG Academy with 51 first half points. A deep three from a different area code for Josh Bosco.
I mean, say this for him. He's got zero fear in him at all.
You mentioned Adam, a little undersized, but he matches that with his intensity and a turnover in Vermont Academy basketball.
Vermont credit. Facing some adversity. Come right out and responding in the first 2.5 minutes here.
Seen a couple threes. Big opportunities for Vermont Academy. Playing from behind. 18-point contest. Post move inside and a finish between 2 defenders for Chisholm Akpara.
And again, he's a sophomore going right inside. Imagine him in this game 2 years from now. He's going to be the guy looking like Kenyon Martin Jr., just physically dominating everybody.
Vermont Academy looking for a run. A three-point ball. Got it! Nothing but the bottom of the net for Josh Bosco again. 5 second half points. Just like that, a 13-point game.
How's that not a foul?
Kenyon Martin Jr. went strong, looking for contact. As this one stolen away. 3-on-2. Up ahead, and a foul. We'll get 2 free throws for Nick Blake, small forward for IMG Academy. And here's this play again. Bosco had some space, settles for the 3 and drilled it.
Gutsy 3. He can really shoot it too. I mean, that's he's really had a good day here. Been definitely the bright spot with his, not just his shot making, but that layup making package we saw early in the first half.
So free throws now for Nick Blake. 13-4 in yesterday's game versus Linkyear. And the first one rolls off the front. Vermont Academy's got some rhythm to him now, coming out with intensity. They trail by just 13.
They certainly did. As we said at the beginning, they were connected right from the beginning. They knew you got a 20-point hole on the road against an older team, missing 2 starters. That's gut check time. They came out connected, and they've responded here.
Hit the back end of 2. Bosco inside, and he finishes. He can't miss in the second half.
No, he's playing great. And again, when you talk about a layup-making package, it's a guy who can convert under the rim with different hands, different angles, off different feet.
Vermont Academy looking to make it a 10-point game. Bosco misses, but a putback, and say it was on the rim. Not going to count the bucket. So IMG will come the other way.
My guys were not into it, so I can do it other way.
IMG looking to score here as they are trailing in the second half in terms of scoring. First half they dominated, only 5 points in the second half thus far.
Another heat check.
3-point ball, no good. Put back, and what a athletic play from Blake Whiteclaw. Acrobatic finish.
Tell you what, Josh Basco has been the guy here, but Blake Whitelaw has given them an undeniable. Oh my goodness!
Holy moly! A big one-handed slam for Mikhail Brown-Jones. And that'll kill the momentum momentarily.
Talk about breaking a run.
Wow. And we're going to step aside. A big slam for IMG Academy. It's a 12-point game, though. Vermont Academy making it interesting here in the second half. Back to the National Prep Showcase we are here in New Haven, Connecticut, and Vermont Academy has chiseled us down to a 12-point contest. Down as much as 20 in this game. Added to a 10-point deficit. Stone Freeman and Adam Finkelstein bring you back here courtside on Yurview and Yurview.com.
How about that finish, though? That was
electric.
It was an incredible finish.
So what sent us to the break was a one-handed slam from Mikhail Brown-Jones, the Virginia Commonwealth commit. Bosco loses the handle, and it's a turnover.
You think he might fit into Havoc down there?
He might. They're going to love him at VCU. And here it is, another look at it. Man, oh man.
That was just, and again, that's in the midst of a huge Vermont Academy run, and that's the type of play that can instantaneously change the momentum of a game.
3-point bid. Hutchins drops one through. He's been great today.
It's going to be very interesting to watch the score. Remember, it was a 10-point game in that finish. So now IMG on a 5-0 run. We'll see how that, in my opinion, plays like that are worth more than 2 points because it changes the rhythm and the momentum of the game.
The whistle, it's going to stay Vermont Academy basketball. And tensions get awfully high in games like this, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. It's one of those things. It's. I think the prep school game is an animated game to begin with, quite frankly, an emotional game, and it's such a niche. It's also because of that. It's also a very physical game, so it's a very hard level to officiate. So it becomes very niche. So all these guys who are doing the game today are college-level officials. They do NCAA games all season long, and then they work prep school games in between.
Big 3-point ball from Mikhail Brown-Jones. He had the one-handed slam that sent us to break, and now a triple. And a big bucket, back-to-back trips, back-to-back 3-point bids for IMG Academy.
Yeah, he's single-handedly changed the complexion of this game.
And a timeout taken by Vermont Academy, and we're going to take it with them. Final 14-10 of the second half coming your way in an 18-point affair. Don't go anywhere.
Come on in and discover the new Cox Solutions store. Experience a whole new level of in-home comfort. It's all right here at the Cox Solutions store. Discover, learn, and experience more.
game in the afternoon. The first game of 3 that we have on Yurview. Stone Freeman, Adam Finkelstein bringing you the call of today's game, 64-46, and IMG Academy's up big. But Adam, you know so much about all these guys. Obviously, you're surrounded by the game, but basic question: How do you know all this?
Well, this is the simple answer is this is my job.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, and I that's what I do. We specifically the Northeast region and prep schools in particular have a very intimate knowledge of, but really with my role at ESPN, travel the country watching high school basketball, trying to project who's going to be the next and best prospects for the next level. But again, the Northeast and prep schools in particular have been my niche for years. So it's been fun this year to be able to go and visit all of these campuses from IMG to Vermont.
Sure.
And be able to see them in the preseason.
Get an inside look here at most of the talent on the court, if not all the talent. It's Kenyon Martin Jr. with a kick out.
Left hand again. Threw that ball with his left hand.
Extra pass, a 3-ball from Blake, and he drills it.
He's had himself a day.
IMG Academy has responded well to a Vermont Academy surge out of the half.
Well, it's an 11-0 run since that dunk from Brown Jones.
And he's got 5 points in that stretch.
And that's exactly what I mean when I say momentum. Watch out again.
He gets fouled.
That was a good foul by Tyler Andrews because he was going to try and rip that rim down again.
And I think he's going to fit perfectly at VCU.
Oh, I think so. He's
matches exactly what Mike Rhodes coaches.
He's high energy, athletic, multi-positional, full court player without question. He's a winner too. I mean, and it's just, last year on this high school team, it was a high school team who's got, they had guys, Jeremiah Robinson Earls at Villanova. They've got all kinds of high-profile guys on that team. He was the 6th or 7th man, came in, defended whoever they needed to, didn't take a lot of shots, didn't need a lot of touches, just made his presence felt.
He hits the front end. And Vermont Academy going to bring in 4 substitutions, all but 1 coming out. Bring out 4. The only one staying in the contest is 15, Nana Owusu. Second one, through. 2 made free throws as a substitution coming in for IMG Academy is Deontay Page. 69-46.
Page, a late addition to this IMG squad. He's going to give them some much needed depth. Another guy who can come in, plug a lot of different holes in the lineup.
Long 3-point bid, but it's an offensive foul. And again, it's against Nana Owusu, who's been whistled for 3 of those in the second half. And his head coach not happy with it.
I don't blame him. I mean, here's the thing. Like I said, officiating this level is about niche. And you're allowing a little more contact on the defensive end than you do on the offensive end, and so it's got to go both ways, I think.
Martin Jr. misses a 3-point bid. He's been relatively quiet here in the second half after having a huge first half. A lot of dribbling and a kick out for Vermont Academy. Ball in the hands of Beals. He drives, puts it up and through over the side of the rim.
He's another sophomore, so you see that body type. The lefty, the slashing ability, got a very bright future.
Kick out, drive, thought about 2 hands and fouled. Elevating along the baseline was Darius Miles. And he's going to get a pair of free throws. Vermont Academy bench has been signaled to calm down from the official as he makes the first. Their argument was that it wasn't a foul.
It's, it seems like every 50-50 one's going kind of every bad break is going the other way if you're Vermont right
Sure.
now. Obviously hard to see whether that got all ball or the hand from the opposite end, but it certainly, you know, and from their vantage point, I think the frustration right now from the injuries to the 50-50 calls to the 50-50 balls just feels like everything's probably working against them right now.
Chance for points, though, offensively. A long three-point bid, and that one through.
He is having a day. He is certainly the bright spot. That one was, they put in a 4-point line. That one would qualify.
It was 5 feet outside the arc.
With a hand in his face, nonetheless.
And no hesitation. Response, yes.
Shooting it is, this is a guy to put in perspective who shot under 20% from the three-point line in the EYBL.
We'll keep it here during the timeout, but IMG Academy and Vermont Academy exchanging three-point bids, and the officials conferencing with Mikhail Brown-Jones. Timeout taken nonetheless, 74-51, and here's another look at how deep this three is.
I mean, it's one of those, no, because that one's off his back leg, hand in his face, and I tell you what, if that ball doesn't go in, it's going to bounce out about 12 feet. Then you got a good chance for a run out.
I said it was about 5 feet out. I mean, say a little bit more than that. He was way out in front of his own bench and drilled the three-point bucket. And that has Vermont Academy up or down now just within 23.
But what you get a look at the IMG Academy huddle there. See, that's Alan Breed now, got a little bit of a lower back issue. Coach trying to help him out with. But what you're impressed with Vermont, and this is what I was just about to mention, see how they're connected still. So again, a lot of adversity. Down 23, 2 starters down. Seen some calls go the other way. And you don't see any long faces. You don't see any bad body language. They're staying together, and that's the mark of a team that's got a chance to keep getting better as the season goes on.
And they'll have an inbound way at the other end of the court. Still haven't seen much from C.J. Jones today. He's been relatively quiet.
You know, I think he's a guy who's got to be able to pick his spots a little bit. He is a tough shot maker, and you see that's a super hard shot.
Sure.
So I think the next step for him is realizing, like, okay, you can get that shot off, but when guys are trying to run you off the line, can you attack a closeout and get something easier for yourself?
Fancy move on the other end for Nick Blake. A pirouette and a finish.
Yeah, he's been good today. Headed to UNLV. Good job by Darius Miles there, fighting over that screen. It's a really good defensive possession from IMG.
Step back is denied by Nick Blake. Blake now up ahead, and he's fouled. Hits the deck hard as we go whistles to avoid any extracurriculars. Foul is going to be against number 1, Keontae Beals. There's another look at it. He went up hard, and a lot of the times here we see players get a little too fired up.
Well, I think one of the things that we tend to forget is that on both sides, these are kids. Mm-hmm. And these are kids who have a lot of pressure on them. You know, we had 26 NBA teams who were here yesterday to see Kareem Magnier from Vanier in Canada. And he did not play well, quite frankly. 1 for 8 from the floor. And I think, you know, there may be temptation to draw a conclusion from a performance.
Sure.
But I think at some point you have to say, hey, wait a minute. This is 17, 18-year-old kid with a lot on the line right now. And this is a lot of pressure for anyone to handle, never mind a teenager.
That's right.
And let's try and keep it in perspective a little bit.
That's a great point. If I'm not mistaken, too, Terrence Clark has been on display here, one of the top.
He has.
Groups.
He had a great shooting weekend. You know, was really efficient offensively in terms of his shot making. I think that the the thing with Terrence, and I've said this before, is for him to recognize it's about efficiency and being fully engaged in the collective team process every possession, every day, and that's the next step.
Nice move on the interior for Nana Owusu. Clark, though, is from Brewster, correct?
Yes, yep, and Brewster finished this weekend 2-0. Brewster probably has the most talented individual roster, at least on paper. They don't have they're built somewhat similar to this IMG team in that they don't have a traditional big. They've got a lot of perimeter firepower, and they've got kind of forwards who are capable. In their case, it's Matt Cross, who's about a 6'7" forward. He's headed to Miami next year, but because of his toughness, he can play bigger than he is. So they've got guys like him with Terrence Clark, Kadari Richmond, who's going to Syracuse, and DeMar Langford Jr., who's going to Boston College. So there's ample weapons over there.
This game here, again, game number 1 of 3 that we're covering on Yurview, but ton of games today. A couple before this one. There's going to be one after our coverage. And the final day, as that one rolls out, and a rebound for Vermont Academy. Bringing it up has been the sharpest shooter on the court today, Josh Bosco.
Yeah, he's had a terrific day. And again, did you ever see Jalen Brantley play?
No, I haven't.
He's a New England guy, played at Wilbraham and Munson, Notre Dame Prep, and always with BABC and AAU.
Sure.
And he just reminds me so much. Bosco reminds me so much of Jalen Brantley because same kind of undersized guard, super skilled, great kind of pace, change of ability to change speed and direction with his handle.
3-point bid, and that one rolled off. Put back, no good. Came out of nowhere. It was Mikael Brown-Jones. Next thing you know, he's eye level with the rim. Inside 9 minutes left here in the second half. Drive, Glass, can't finish. Whitelaw with the rebound. He gets blocked away.
That summed up those two guys' days. Whitelaw with a gritty hustle play, and Brown-Jones with another defensive effort.
Near side controlled by Miles. Top of the key, and a drilled 3 for Hutchins.
I'll tell you what, he's gotten a lot better. He's a guy who went down to Florida, always been known as a high-level athlete. He's gotten himself in really good shape, though, and he's shooting the ball at an unprecedented level.
There's a turnover.
I think Basco was expecting Beals to kind of maintain that cut that time. He had the guy locking and trailing him right off that screen. Those are some of the little things you learn upon getting to this level for the first time.
It's been a first half was dominated by IMG Academy. The second half began with a surge from Vermont Academy.
Now, I stopped keeping track, but that dunk, after the Brown-Jones dunk, they went on at least a 10-0 run after that point because it was a 10-point game.
That's right.
And then that dunk pushed it to 12. Right now it's 25.
We haven't seen much here in the second half from Kenyon Martin Jr., who played so well in the first.
I think when you're up 25 in a showcase-style setting, it's an opportunity to get some other guys in the game because, Kenyon Martin Jr., ultimately he's just deciding if he wants to go to college. Hopefully he does. But some of these other guys are fighting for low major, maybe Division II scholarships, and those are the opportunities that can really change your life because all of a sudden you go to college and you leave without any student debt, So those are the game changers.
That's really behind most college athletes, if not all of them.
Yeah, the ones we watch on TV and the ones that I cover nationally, I mean, those are the guys that the fact that they're going to go to school for free has been a foregone conclusion basically their entire high school career. But it's these other kids who, sometimes college now maybe $75,000 a year.
That's right.
So you're looking at over $250,000 to get a bachelor's degree. So these athletic scholarships are very literally life changers.
that sometimes can get missed upon too, looked over.
Yeah, when you don't have to meet Sally and her friend May, it's
True.
Life gets so much better, you know.
Final 6 minutes. 3-point bid, and that one just rattled off from Lafayette. Martin Jr. will come in at the next whistle. He's squatting in front of the scorer's table. Post up for Brown Jones. Inside, and he's fouled hard.
Not much you can do right there for Tyler Andrews because Brown Jones just initiating that contact, going right at you. And you either got to beat him in the spot and take that charge, which probably wouldn't be comfortable.
Yeah. Mentioned it earlier, but a Philadelphia, Pennsylvania native, 6'8" forward. Committing to VCU earlier this month.
I do think 6'8". He is listed at 6'8". I do think that is generous, but he makes up for it with his length, his athleticism, and most of all his motor. I think that he, that's the thing to me that really stands out about this this team is how they have taken on the personalities of Brown Jones and Kenyon Martin Jr. because those guys aren't just athletes, but they are relentless competitors.
It's the second. 81-55. Ball's brought up by Tyler Andrews, and he lost the handle, but saving him from a turnover is Owusu. Good matchup now. Feeding it, fade away, and that one long for Andy Christos. IMG can control the pace of the next 5 minutes. Shot clock down to 19 seconds. Hutchins, who's worked well today from 3, controlled and gave way to the top of the key for Miles.
Yeah, honestly, this is the best I've seen Hutchins play in a long time because he's a guy who typically wants to get downhill, utilize his athleticism, doesn't always pick his spots great, and although the stroke has always been sound mechanically, he's never shot a high percentage. So he's, as I said, he's in the best shape I've seen him in a long time. He's picked his spots. You really haven't seen the explosiveness yet today, but he's got it. So just as efficient a floor game as I remember from him.
Straightaway 3 connects for Akpara. Vermont Academy still playing hard.
Yeah, they're still competing. No doubt about that.
Trying to force a turnover. Came out, fortunately for IMG's sake, to the top of the key for Darius Miles. And again, they'll slow down the pace with the shot clock down to 13. And a foul. They're going to get him for a push. Substitutions coming in for both sides. Out of the game comes Darius Miles. Andrews out for Vermont Academy. Also comes out Andy Christos. Free throws upcoming for Hutchins, who misses it.
Ball don't lie, Rashid says. I don't know. You know, we talked a little earlier about IMG Academy and their setup there. You hear the term academy used a lot now, but when you go down there and you see all the different sports they have and all the the commitment from Under Armour and from Gatorade and the level of the facilities, not just the athletic facilities, but the dorms,
everything,
and the student center, the academic buildings. I mean, I was so impressed. They have their own hotel right on campus. You know, it started as the Bollettieri Tennis Academy. Nick Bollettieri, the longtime tennis coach who coached Andre Agassi and Maria Sharapova and I'm sure countless others. So tennis is still a big part of what they do, but it's really expanded to include basketball, baseball, football, and I'm sure I'm missing quite a few other sports, but it is very impressive.
Turnover for IMG. And inside, and a turnover on the other side for Vermont Academy. Game 2 upcoming after this one. Be between Sunrise Christian Academy and Cushing Academy, Kansas and Massachusetts.
And, this is one of those ones I think IMG walks away from this weekend really thinking they've got a chance to be, one of the best teams in the country here.
Sure.
I think that they'd love it if they had maybe one or two bodies on their bench who could evolve into reliable contributors as the season goes on here. I think that's going to be a key for them. Of course, staying healthy in that first 5, but those two guys who you just saw in that handoff, Brown, Jones, and Martin Jr., they are table setters for this club.
Martin Jr. had missed the 3, and that's the one side of his game I think you were talking about, Adam, that probably needs the most work, would just be his shooting.
Yeah, I think so, but I think, because he's so powerful, so athletic, and has such a high motor, you can hear him defined by those attributes.
Sure.
And he's more skilled. Okay, may not be a great shooter yet, but he's more skilled on the whole than he gets credit for because he's got that left hand. He's a better passer than people realize. He can take the ball off the glass and start the break. So he's got all these different things he can do that fall in his skill set that go, and he's making strides as a shooter, quite frankly.
Sure.
Even the fluidity of his release has come a long way. And if this kid were to go in and say today, you know what, I've decided I want to go to college, anyone who still has a scholarship to fill in the class of 2020 would have to give him a hard look.
An explosive player. It's inside, and it's going to stay IMG basketball. Final 100 seconds roll off here in Game 1 of today's coverage here on Yurview between IMG and Vermont. Vermont Academy still getting some fire from their bench. They played well out of the gates here in the second half, but this game has largely been controlled by IMG Academy. Chisholm airs to the bucket, took it coast to coast.
It's ironic. You can see the potential for him to very much follow in the footsteps of guys like Brown and Jones. I mean, you ask yourselves, I saw them 2 years ago. They didn't look a whole lot different than this. Quite frankly, they probably weren't this far along physically.
Correction, that's Chisholm Akpara. Hutchins straight away.
Yeah, he thought about pulling up there. He's had that kind of day, but instead kisses it in.
Fancy dribbling and footwork. Got him to the right side of the lid, up off the glass and through. Inside the other way, and one. Count the bucket. That's Akpara again. Goes against Neil Dickey.
Showing you why he's one of the top sophomores in New England. That big, strong body in an early age, but coupled with the playmaking ability, good handle.
Three-point play, short, but an offensive rebound. Three-point bid, that one's short again. Drive and a kick out. It'll stay Vermont basketball. As the final 10 seconds roll off the clock. 85-64. Vermont Academy inbounds it, rolls away. Final seconds tick away. And it's a victory for IMG Academy. They take the first game of the day here on Yurview. 85-64, the final over Vermont Academy. Adam, we got 2 more games, but after game 1, any thoughts?
Well, I thought it was just a dominant performance by IMG against a very young but ultra-resilient Vermont Academy squad. Kenyon Martin Jr., Mikhail Brown-Jones really set the tone, and this is an IMG squad that is going to be among the very best in the country this year.
A big victory for IMG Academy. They take care of business here on Sunday, taking down Vermont Academy. Final score 85-64. We have more coming your way, but if this is the end of the road for you, thanks for tuning in, folks, to IMG Academy versus Vermont Academy here at the National Prep Showcase. For Adam Finkelstein and everybody here at Yurview, we're signing out. We have the second game coming up just after this between Sunrise Christian Academy and Cushing Academy. Stick around for that, folks.